Hey guys, how's it going? And thanks for coming. I'm Nick and this is Real Life Money, and don't forget to subscribe. So in this video, we're going over some of the different streams of income and savings that I have. Because remember, the average millionaire has 7 sources of income. So I'm going to go over what I have experience in, so it could kind of help open your mind to see what other types of income that you could deal with. Because if you're only focused on one, like a job, let's say you get laid off or fired because you set someone's car on fire at work. Not saying you should, I'm just saying it's possible. So if you get fired, your whole entire life just gets halted. So if you have multiple other types of income or savings, that's how you could continue to survive. So I'm starting off with the most significant in my life of my 7. And I'm also going to give you guys a bonus at the end if you'd like to stick around. It's something that might knock you off balance because not many people talk about it. So definitely stick around till that. So let's get started. My first source of income is, unfortunately, my job. So that's not good, it's not bad. That's most people's sources of income. That is my most significant, and you build experience, you get a paycheck, you're working 40 hours, like you're committing a lot of time toward that. So I'm not going into that one much, just because most people have jobs, and there you go. So moving on to the second source of income, this is when we start getting more interested, is individual stocks. So yes, you do have gains of individual stocks. I don't like considering them like as income because they're long-term plays for me. I don't care what happens tomorrow. I don't care what happens next month or next year. We're going to be holding them. Now they do also have dividends. Some people might take those and put it in their savings account, but for me, I don't count it as income just because they're reinvested back into the stocks. So if you are new to this, I think stocks are a great way to get involved with something on the side, especially if you're focusing on long-term growth. Unfortunately, it really doesn't change you what's going on in your current lifestyle, because that's for the future. Your present really isn't changing much, so that's why we should continue to elaborate into other sources of income and savings. So obviously this is a little bit more riskier because it's an individual company. Word of disclaimer, I'm not saying you should get into stocks, but if you do, definitely do your own research so you know what you're getting involved with. For me personally, I actually haven't been seriously investing in individual stocks recently. I've been kind of building other things as well. So let's talk about them. So aside from my job and my individual stocks, the third source of savings is my Roth IRA. Now a lot of people, you probably know, a lot of people talk about them, Vanguard. That's who I personally use. You could look around, there are other companies out there, but that's who I use. So if you are my age or anyone under 55, you could contribute $6,000 a year toward a Roth IRA. I max that out, so that's $500 a month that I put in for retirement. Now, if you understand Roth IRAs, you pay tax now, and when you retire, you don't pay tax when you take it out. Side note, however, which is also pretty cool, is that I was doing a little research, and I think it's 5 years. So after 5 years of opening a Roth IRA, you could take, for emergencies or God forbid something happens, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but it's possible. You could take out principal from your Roth IRA to use for whatever. So an example, let's say you put $1,000 into your Roth and it grows to $1,200. So you have a $200 gain. You could still take out that $1,000 tax-free. However, if you do take out that extra $200 gain, that's when taxes get involved. So that's the difference. So that's great on the side every single month for the future, which will then move us on to the next source of savings that I personally have is a 401k. So very similar. It's another retirement account with an employer. You probably have a 401k as well. If you don't have it set it up, you probably should. When they give you money, it's essentially free money. So don't walk away from free money. Now this is where I have another disclosure because this is very important. Watch out for fees. Really look into the type of fees that you're paying for individual funds and even into your 401k because that itself has fees as well. Fun fact that's not so fun is that the average person pays over like $150,000 throughout their whole lives in fees. I'd rather have that in my pocket than paying it to some rich guy on a yacht. By the way, so for a 401k, you do not pay taxes now. You pay taxes when you retire. But there is something also called a ROTH 401k. Similar to a Roth IRA, you pay taxes now, not later. So if you guys are staying with me, thank you so much. So those are the more significant portions. Now we're going a little bit deeper. They're becoming a little less significant, however, still side income. And this is where it gets more interesting because this is where you could become more creative, do something on your own, and it could definitely help you. Number 5 is YouTube. Now I've been doing YouTube for years now and it's finally starting to actually pay for itself. Now I love doing this, you know, instead of talking to myself all the time, I talk to a camera, which then entails gets shown to you. You know, I just love helping people out. You know, this year has really been interesting to say the least, but the growth has been phenomenal. You know, we just surpassed 2,000 subs. We're coming up on my next goal of 2,500. Probably by the end of the year, I'm going to try to push for 3,000. So we'll see what happens. So real quick, I would like to thank each and every single one of you guys because you make this channel possible and make me want to continue this. So thank you. Now I do have another video actually going into the specific numbers that I'm starting to make on YouTube. But the main idea is just through ad revenue. So those advertisements that you see on the beginning of basically everyone's video, the creator gets paid for that. Now before this, when I was a little bit smaller, I mean, I'm still a small YouTuber, but when I was even smaller, I did have some affiliate links for Robinhood. It's an investing platform, and if you went through the link, you got a free stock, and I got a free stock. Now, if you're new to the channel, that actually changed because I got a new job in the finance field. So I really can't talk about specific investments and stocks and stuff like that, so that's why I don't do that anymore. So I'm glad that kind of happened because I'm able to focus more on broader topics that reach more people than kind of like a niche group of people just with investing. I like talking about everything. So this is starting to become a great extra income on the side. It's very exciting. And again, thank you so much for helping me do that. And this would be the best time to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Thanks so much. Aside from YouTube and everything, another form of income that I like to talk about. Again, much more smaller, less significant, but I do still make some money with that, and that's with my money market account and savings accounts. Again, this is nothing to retire early off of, but I do have a credit union with the money market. I like credit unions because they're not-for-profit and they usually give you better rates than like a commercial bank like Chase or something like that. Now, unfortunately, since the Fed has been lowering rates and it might hit 0 in the near future, unfortunately, But savings account interest rates have been dropping. They used to be paying me around like 2%. Now they're like dropping. I think the most recent I saw was 1.6. Now there are other like savings accounts out there. You might find 1.75, 1.8, 1.9. But if you really think about it, if you're just depositing like $1,000, we might be talking a couple bucks or few cent difference by changing over to a completely different, well, you don't have to completely change a different bank, but that's setting up a separate account. If you wish to do that, you can. I choose not to. Now, some extra ideas that I used to do, but don't anymore, are T-bills. It was actually, I bought like 1 to 2 month T-bills. You're basically buying an IOU from the government. So you're loaning the government money for like a month or two, and that did give more interest than a savings account or money market. Well, now, since rates are all over the place and the yield curve is flat and nothing makes sense anymore, those actually pay less than my money market account, so I don't even bother with them. And also on the side, I completely forget about this because I don't even focus on it, but you guys probably might have this as well, is a savings bond. Now, I'm not going to take responsibility and like I'm a genius for buying this. That's because most people are given these when you're a child or a baby. So I was like 1 or 2. So I could say that I was an investor since I was 1 year old. But it's still on the side. It's not a lot whatsoever, but it is earning 4%. Good luck finding a 4% guaranteed interest rate just because I got it. I'm 26, born in 93, so at that time they were paying 4%. So I'm just going to hold on to that for however long we can, just because regularly I would probably cash it out and put in a savings, which is paying less. So I'm just holding on to that right now. So that was kind of a globular for number 6. It's kind of just like savings accounts and stuff like that. So let's move on to number 7. I'm going to give you another globular answer of a few different small amounts that I do every so often. It's definitely not frequent. It's not significant. It's every so often. I might get a few bucks every here and there. So my first significant, non-significant source of income would be Amazon. If I decide to sell anything, if I find maybe like a deal or something like that, I will list it online. Let Go is fine and everything, but I guess it's just my area. People are cheap around me. They try to like trade things and not buy things. So Amazon is great. I have made a decent amount of money off of that over the years. I started in college just reselling my textbooks to get my money back or even make some profits. Cool side story I actually got involved with textbooks is that because I was weird, I tried to find ways to make money anywhere I could. So I was in the bookstore and I found out that this book was actually cheaper in the bookstore than on Amazon. So I listed on Amazon. I basically used the bookstore as my inventory, and when someone bought the book, I would go to the bookstore, buy it, and then ship it on my way home. I did that for like maybe a handful of books, so I did like each one was a profit of like 60 bucks. So it was pretty good. I was really proud of myself, but unfortunately that didn't last too long. There is eBay too. I just prefer Amazon just because I started with them. Another answer for number 7 is mystery shopping. Now, if you guys are aware of mystery shopping, I just did a video as well of how I ended up spending 18 cents or only 18 cents for lunch, and mystery shopping was because of that. So if you want to learn more details about that, I'll leave a link in the description for that strategy. I also get a few bucks from, again, I don't like counting this, but it is extra money, which is cash back from credit cards. Don't tell Dave Ramsey, yes, I have credit cards, but I do use them in a wise way. I literally just buy things that I would just need, like gas to go to work, like food to survive, and like that's about it. So I would normally be buying those things, so might as well just get some cash back from that. So, you know, you might get a couple or a few dollars per month. You're not going to buy a yacht with that. You're not going to become a millionaire, but it's a little extra. It's not going to hurt or help you if you do that or not. I personally like Discover card, but you know, depending on the card you get, you could get like a 1% cash back, 2, 3% cash back. Sometimes I get 5% cash back. So it depends on the card that you get. I do have a much older video going over some of the best cards for 2019. I know 2019 is almost over, which is insane. But those are some great cards if you want to check that out. So those are my 7 top sources of income and savings that I personally have. And if you stuck around till now, I want to give you a thumbs up, and I really appreciate, even if you don't give me a thumbs up, I do appreciate you sticking around. So I will give you that bonus that I was talking about, guys. Not many people talk about this. I am talking about gold and silver. Now I'm going to put my investor's hat on. I have talked a couple of times about Ray Dalio, very intelligent person, but I wanted to bring this up because we're talking about diversification right now. You know, looking at different sources of income, different ways to save. This is just an additional way. So especially, market is kind of all over the place right now, so it's kind of a way to hedge against other things. And it is a hard asset compared to a paper asset like a stock or just money. There's nothing backing that. Gold has history behind it. It preserves wealth over time and buying power. So it is just another way to possibly save if you like. Do your own research, not saying you should, but you can buy physical silver, you can buy physical gold. And if you only have like a few dollars, it might be a little bit more than a few dollars, but if you have like 20 bucks, you could get like a silver coin. So yes, I do have some of that, just because it's a little, just more diversification, more the better. In my eyes. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. What are your different sources of income? Or what would you love a source of income to be? Thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.